Hello, dear children. I hope you all are fine. I once again welcome you on this online learning platform on my YouTube channel, Learn English with Jangid Sir. Dear children, today I am presenting one very important lesson for class 12th English core. Today we are taking the first chapter of our book Vistas, and the title of the first chapter is the this is a very complex story. What is the theme that first I just want to discuss with you? Dear children, as we all see that in today's world there are so many problems, tensions, anxiety, stress, and due to this sometimes we people are not able to live our life happily. And when we are not happy, when we cannot face the hard realities of life, sometimes we try to escape from the ground realities. We just try to weave one imaginary world where we are always lost in that imaginary world, and we always think about that, and that way we somehow are trying to run away from the realities. So this story is written on this theme only. It is a story about a 31-year-old man named Charlie. Here our chief character is Charlie. Besides this is a psychological story that refers to the subway. Subway means one alternate way at the Grand Central Railway Station. Here we are talking about one railway station of New York, America, which takes passengers to Galesburg. Galesburg is a nearby town to New York. In addition, this subway becomes the interconnection between the narrator's harsh reality and fantasy. Means this is somewhere there is some interconnection between the harsh realities and fantasy, means imagination of the narrator. Moreover, the third level was a way of escape for Charlie, as life in the modern world is full of uncertainties, worries, and stress. It takes Charlie to a different world that his friend also calls a waking dream, walking dream, fulfillment. Actually, he talks about this problem to one of his friends who was a psychiatrist, a doctor of nerves and brain, and the doctor called this problem a walking dream wish fulfillment. Further, the story is about Charlie's tendency to escape from the world. Most importantly, the third level starts because of Sam's letter written on 18th July 1984. Sam is the psychiatrist friend of Charlie. This story shows the connection between time and space. So here we will see one intersection of time and space also, because the narrator travels into past. Past means the good happy old time. That is why there is we can say interconnection between time and space. Now, dear children, we will see some important references. Setting up the story, as I told you, is Grand Central Station in New York. You can see a picture of this railway station. Grand Central Station officially opened on February 2, 1913. So it celebrated its 100th birthday in 1913 when this picture was taken actually. Now we will see the text. The presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stake of timetables that there are only two. Actually, there are only two levels. One is the underground platform and another is on the ground floor. So the station masters or the officers Here the word presidents is used for the in charge officers of the railway station. So they say that there are only two levels, means there are only two platforms, but I say there are three. But here, as I told you, the narrator believes that there are three, because I have been on the third level of the Grand Central Station, because he says that once he had been to that third level also. Yes, I have taken the obvious step. I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine, among others, and he says that I traveled to that third level, and I also talked about this to one of my psychiatrist friend also. I told him about the third level at Grand Central Station, and he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. It was a waking dream, means a person who sees dream not in sleeping but in waking position. He said I was unhappy. Actually, the reason behind this was unhappiness, sadness. That made my wife kind of mad, but he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it. Actually, in the modern world, you can see so many types of insecurities are there. Insecurity of job, insecurity of life, insecurity of family, so many things are there, and that I just want to escape. The doctor explained that he was trying to escape from the ground realities. Well, who doesn't? The narrator says that who doesn't try to escape in this modern world? According to him, everybody does this. Everybody I know want to escape, but they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. But he says that everybody is suffering from this, but he wonders why he just travels or walks at the Grand Central Station and third level. But that is the reason, he said, and my friend all agreed. Everything points to it, they claimed. My stamp collecting, for example, that is a temporary refuge from reality. He also had a hobby of stamp collection, that is philately collection of the postal stamps. So somehow it is also, we can say, a means of running away from the realities. Now you can see, uh, again, this picture is given of the Grand Central Station. Well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Now he is connecting it to the time of his grandfather. Means the time when everybody was very happy, when there were no worries, no anxiety, no tension in that time. Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his day, from all I hear, and he started my collection. It is nice collection too. Blocks of four of practically every US issue. US issue means the stamps which were issued in US. First day covers. First day cover is actually is a kind of envelope, or we can say, when one stamp is first time issued by the government, the lovers of philately, the lovers of stamp collection, they actually take one envelope, post that stamp on that envelope, and they post it on their own address. So through the post office, the envelope reaches to their own address, and then they keep it in their collection, so that it becomes a memory. President Roosevelt collected stamps too, you know. Now he is saying that the American President Franklin Roosevelt also had the hobby of stamp collection. Anyway, here is what happened at Grand Central. Now he is describing his experience of walking into the third level. One night last summer, I worked late at the office. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment, so I decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it is faster than the bus. He decided to use the subway, not go by road. Now I don't know why this should have happened to me. I'm just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old, and I was wearing a tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. He is describing his uniform. He was wearing that tan colored suit. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me, and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get home to Louisa, my wife. Here we have the third character, Louisa, the wife of Charlie. Actually, he wanted to get home, that is why he took the subway. Now he will face that experience of going into the third level. Here you see one more picture. This is a view of one of the many arched corridors in Grand Central stations. You can see these arched corridors are there, vaulted corridors are there. And this picture was taken in 1912. The main character Charlie walked down one of these corridors on his way to the third level. He just walked one of these corridors to the third level. I turned into Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level where you take trains like the 20th century. Then I walked down another flight to the second level where the suburban trains leave from. The long distance trains depart from the first level, and the trains which only runs into the city, they depart from the second level. Ducked into an arched doorway heading for the subway and got lost. Actually, in one of the corridors, he lost his way. That is easy to do. I have been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times, but I am always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. Another time I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. So he said that he had actually lost there many times. It is just like a maze, a bhool bhulaiya. Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. There is probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, feeling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square. It is a place, and maybe another to Central Park, and maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central has been an exit, a way of escape. Maybe that is how the tunnel I got into, but I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. So he says that he himself accepting that many people just come to the that big railway station just to find a way of escape. So he also came there. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downwards, and I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. He realized that he had lost his way, but he said that he just kept on walking. So here we can see that again, intentionally he is going that way. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I didn't pass a soul, and nobody was there on that way. He was the only person. Then I heard that sort of hollow roar ahead that means open space and people talking. The tunnel turned sharp left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came out on the third level at Grand Central Station. Actually, he felt as if he had entered at the third level, which was totally imaginary. At the Grand Central Station, dear children, there are only two levels. For just a moment, I thought I was back on the second level, but I saw the room was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows and train gates, and the information booth in the center was wood, means it was made of wood and old looking. And the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. The lights were dim and sort of flickering. Then I saw why they were open flame gas lights. So he came to one level. He thought it was the third level, but it was the second level, but it was totally different from the second level, because on this imaginary level he found people, they were different, the platform was different, the rooms were different, the people and their clothes were also different. There were brass spittoons. Spittoon is actually a kind of utensil. It is just like a dustbin which people use to spit. On the floor and across the station, a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. In that time, people never wore the wrist watches like we people wear. They used pocket watches. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch, and frowned. He wore a derby hat. Derby is a game, you know. Derby hat is a round hat people wear. A black four-button suit and tiny lapels. Lapels means buttons. And he had a big black handlebar mustache. Big type of mustache. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 1819 something. Means 1819th century like people were there. I never saw so many beards, sideburns, and fancy mustaches in my life. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeves. Of mutton sleeves means it is a kind of top the girls wear, and it is very loose in the sleeves, and skirts to the top of her high button shoes. Back of her, out of the tracks, I caught a glimpse of a locomotive. Locomotive, that is the engine that runs by coal, steam engine. A very small carrier and eaves locomotive. It is the name of the company, with a funnel shaped stick. And then I knew. So he thought that most of the things at that level, they just were just like the old things, the things which were found in 18th and 19th century. Here you can see this is a brass spittoons. That time such type of spittoons were used at the stations and public places for spitting. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. So he wanted to ensure himself. So he went to a newsboy, a hawker who was selling newspapers. It was the World. The World was a famous newspaper of 18th and 19th century in America, and the World hasn't been published for years. And in the present century, 2021st century, this is not published. The lead story said something about President Cleveland. President Cleveland was the contemporary president of America. I have found the front page since in the public library files, and it was printed June 11, 1894. Means he is going back into the past. He thought as if the newspaper in the hands of that newsboy, it belonged to the year 1894. I turned towards the ticket windows, knowing that here on the third level at Grand Central I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go in the year 1894, and I wanted two tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. Actually, it was his birthplace. His grandfather and grandparents lived in Galesburg. It is a very peaceful and a rural type area. So he actually wanted to go away from the hustle and bustle of the city life of New York, and he wanted to go to Galesburg. So he went to the ticket window to buy two tickets to go to Galesburg. Have you ever been there? It's wonderful town, still with big old frame houses, huge lawns, and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the streets. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long, and people sat out on their lawns, the men smoking cigars and talking quietly, the women waving palm leaf fans. That time, people did not have electric fans. They used the fans of made of palm leaves, with the fireflies all around, in a peaceful world. So he wanted to say that the world of the old times, the world of his grandfather's time, was a peaceful world. To be back there with the first World War still 20 years off. He was talking about the time before 20 years of the First World War. We all know that First World War started in 1909 and ended in 1914. So here he was talking about the time of 1894 around. And World War Second, over 40 years in the future, I wanted two tickets for that. So he wanted to go to Galsburg. The clerk figured the fare. He glanced at my fancy hatband, but he figured the fare, and I had enough for two coach tickets one way. But when I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. Now he is having a wonderful experience. Actually, he gave the present time currency to that clerk of 18th 19th century time. He nodded at the bills. Bills means notes. That isn't money. The clerk said, this is not money, this is only paper. He said, and if you are trying to skin me, if you are trying to deceive me, you won't get very far. And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. Of course, the money was old style bills, half again as big as the money we use nowadays, and different looking. I turned away and got out fast. There is nothing nice about jail, even in 1894. So actually, he did not have the money of that olden times, because obviously he was in the present time, he was not in the past. He was imagining as if he was traveling into the past. So here he faced a problem. He did not have the money of olden times to buy the tickets. So, dear children, this is all for the first part of this chapter. We will actually complete it in two parts. This is quite a long lesson. So, the second part we will do in the coming days. Once again, dear children, I thank you for watching my lessons, and I am sure you are enjoying your learning. Be brave, stay at home, be safe, and please give sufficient time for your studies. I would once like to request you to like my lessons, share, comment, and subscribe my YouTube channel Learn English with Jangid Sir. This is all for today. Thank you and have a good day.